Hello, hello, hello. Uh, Today will be our last day before the new year, and I felt that we needed to talk on something that is quite important. Um, Particularly, I felt that we should spend the next more or less 50 minutes talking about Nigeria being a failed state. I know most of you will have seen that report by the Financial Times talking about Nigeria at a risk of becoming a failed state. And there are so many people that are quite angry about that editorial write up. And I felt, you know what? Since I'm one of those few people that is always banging on the fact that Nigeria is not doing the right thing, it's actually within my right to talk about this issue and more or less explain or ask the question, is Nigeria indeed a failed state? I'm an academic, I'm a practitioner, a former civil servant. So when you talk to me about Nigeria being at the risk of becoming a failed state, what jumps into my mind is research work and looking at the parameters and looking at what is actually happening on the ground. One of the things that makes Nigeria or like any other country is that Nigerian people are unique people, special people, and as a result, some of the parameters or some of the things that Western researchers will put in place and will think is applicable in their own atmosphere will not actually be applicable in Nigeria. I'll give you two classic examples. Before the 2015 election, the report was out there that Nigeria is going to fragment, be fragmented, and the Nigeria will not hold together. But today, 5 years down the line, Nigeria is still going strong. That doesn't mean that we do not have challenges. Far away from it, far from it. But what it means is that Nigeria good people are able to walk through the challenges, able to walk through some of the issues, current issues that hit the politics, and able to find a way through. Even when Yar'Adua died, and everything seems to be at a standstill, even when Chief MPO Abiola died and everything seems to be at a standstill, Nigeria still pulled up. Even during the Biafra, Nigeria still pulled up because there are many countries that would not have even survived, because of the Biafra. But we pulled together. Yes, there will be some issues here and there, but that does not mean that Nigeria is a failed state. Far from it. But let's not take it from me just saying it. Let's look at it for practical issues for many Nigerians out there in the diaspora and at home, watching me right now. I'm going to bring out some of the parameters. We're going to have an honest discussion. It's not about being APC or PDP. This is our country. And when people start dishing out the rubbish, even though we might pass our chant out, tell our father we're not within him, that does not mean that I will be a bastard that will use the left hand to point at his father's house. Far from it, because Nigeria is not anywhere near a failed state, and it's not a failed state. Please read my lips. And all those prophets of dooms that are coming up to say Nigeria is a failed state. No, Nigeria is not a failed state, and we need to shout it from the top of the roof and make it very clear. Now, a failed state, a state is referred to as a failed state where the political and economic system has become so weak. So when the political and economic system of the state has become so weak that government is no longer in control. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, on the face of it, is the political and economic situation in Nigeria so weak that government is no longer in control. No. There are fragments of challenges here and there. There are challenges in certain places, but that does not indicate at any point that Nigeria is a failed state. No, I do not agree with that assertion. However, I would like to talk about 4 characteristics of a failed state and then use those 4 characteristics to measure where Nigeria is in comparison with other countries. Other countries around the world that are deemed as not a failed state. Yeah. So I want us to look at it from that perspective. Yeah. So in the first instance, there are 4 characteristics that define a failed state. One of it being loss of control of the territory. So note that loss of control of the territory, erosion of legitimate authority to make collective decision. So where there is a loss of the collective legitimacy to make a decision, then you say that state is a failed state. Inability to provide public service is the third one. And when a situation has got to a position where the public service cannot be provided, then you say it's a failed state. Inability to interact with other states as a full member of an international body, then under that situation, you could say that country is a failed state. Now, there is an organization that was set up in 1957. It's a non-profit organization in America known as Fund for Peace. They produce different indexes, and one of the indexes they created was one called the Fragile State Index, FSI ranking. And in the last 5 years, from 2015 to date, so to 2020, they've actually placed Nigeria at a 14 ranking, number 14 in their ranking. Now, Nigeria is number 14 in the ranking of a frayed state, a state that is fragile, a fragile state. So the index, fragile state index, which is called FSI, more or less ranks Nigeria at number 14. However, after that, in 2006, they rated Nigeria as number 22 or 22nd, and in 2014, which was 8 years later, they placed Nigeria as number 14, but they said it's been stable at number 14. However, I think it's important to highlight that number 1 on the list of a fragile state is Yemen. Number 2, so I'm talking of countries in Africa now, is Somalia, is number 2nd. Republic of Congo is number 5th. That's Congo DR is number 5th. Chad is number 7th. Libya publish your own documentation. People will go on the internet using open source. They will gather information, whether be it fake news, be it of fake news, and they would, whether fake news or not fake news, they would gather it, and then they will say that Nigeria is a failed state, or Nigeria is edging towards a failed state. Now, let's go back to Libya. The Libya that they are calling, that they are giving 20th position, is still at a state of war. It's not like, even some planes cannot fly into their territory. They'll shut them down. Libya, I've been to Libya before, so I'm telling you from experience. I know how Libya was before and how Libya is now. And when I went to Libya, Libya was a beautiful country. In fact, I slept in an hotel that was more or less a six-star hotel. I'm not talking of five-star hotel. I'm talking of six, six-star hotel. Beautiful. The road was majestic. I was there, with some other, diaspora leaders, including even the first lady of Sierra Leone, who was also there, giving our presentations and things. So that's just to tell you, I've been there, and now Libya is a no-go area. It's not a place. You are talking of a place where you have two governments. One government recognized by the global community, another one recognized by selected countries. Armed militias are in charge of their oil refineries. We don't have that in Nigeria. You can't go anywhere without bombs being thrown. Bombs are thrown into the capital as if it's like rain falling from heaven. And yet you compare that country with a country like Nigeria, where we do not have any of such calamity or war. No place is being controlled. There is no part of Nigeria that is being controlled by another state. So, for example, let's just give an example for the sake of it, to say IPOD, for example, is controlling the whole of Southeast, running their own plane, running their own oil tanks, running their own government, running their own money. That's what is happening in Libya. And yet you give Libya 20th position and you give us number 14. So who do I blame for this? I blame Nigerian government, because we are the one that is allowing these organizations to rate us and to place us in this position. Look at their parameters and come out. When somebody says you are moving towards a failed state, come out and roll out the achievement of this government, achievement of successive government, and say these are the things we've achieved. These are the things we've achieved. Nigeria is not a failed state. No, I will not accept that. Nigeria is not a failed state. And I'm going to start looking at each of the characteristics and start breaking it down. Now, if you're watching this, please like it, please share with others, let them know that Security Conversation with Temitope Olodo is live and direct from the United Kingdom, and I'm talking about Nigeria, talking about whether Nigeria is a failed state. And I'm going to look at it from 4 parameters that are set as the characteristics of a failed state. The first one is loss of control of territory. Now, let me make it very clear now that none of Nigerian territory is not in the hand of any foreign organization or body. Now, I know you will ask me, but you are the one that is always shouting, they are in lecture, they are not going in there. Yes. Boko Haram is bombing in Borno. Yes. Boko Haram is bombing in Al-Qaeda, if they have opportunity, are bombing in the UK. The IRA are bombing and killing people in some part of the UK. That doesn't make it a failed state. Doesn't make the United Kingdom a failed state. No. And none of the territory. If you go into Belfast and those places, there are places where they've even put their flag, painted that this is our territory. Yet government is still working. Members of parliament are still working. Did they say it's a failed state? No. It is not a failed state. Nigeria is not a failed state. So please do not work with this jargon and so Nigeria failed nowhere. I think it's important that we highlight that right now. Nigeria is not a failed state. None of Nigerian territory is in the hand of an enemy, be it domestic or foreign. Now, let me define that. For it to be in the hand of a foreign or domestic enemy, it means that those places Nigeria cannot even enter into it. Nigeria does not control it. They can do whatever they like. They can spend their own currency, determine their own budget, and nobody will go there. No, there is no place like that in Nigeria. There are places in Nigeria where, because of crisis, people have moved out. bandits might be there in the bush and things like that. Boko Haram might be there, but that doesn't mean they put up their flag and they are controlling it and they can sleep with their two eyes closed. No, because on a daily basis, we are seeing our gallant Air Force going out and bombing those places, to pieces. And they are running, they're taking to their heels and running into the mountain and running into Chad and running into Niger. Yes, they are. Nigeria is not a failed state from a definition, from the first characteristics of a failed state, which is a place that they've lost control of the territory. We have not lost control. Let me also make it clear that even the invoking of section 305 of Nigerian Constitution, which is a state of emergency, in a section of Nigeria does not mean that Nigeria is a failed state. As we speak, there are places within India that the state have declared a state of emergency and running after the rebels. That does not make India a failed state. In fact, it's one of the developing economy. Yeah? So, if anybody says Nigeria is a failed state, that person is sleeping. They're dozing. They don't have a clue the meaning of what a fragile state is. Nigeria is not a failed state and it's not a fragile state. Please, let's get that right. So from the first characteristics, there is no part of Nigeria, of the 778 local government, that is under the control of any foreign government, apart from the section which the United Nations asks us to concede to Cameroon rule. That is different because that was under negotiation and it was asked to be given to the Cameroonians, which we did as good neighbors, because we are not the type that go about hurting our neighbors. Nigeria, as bad as it is, we can be proud of it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please like this page, share it with others, start a party, a watch party, and let's talk about Nigeria, whether Nigeria is a failed state. Now, the second characteristics of a failed state, a fragile state, is that there must be an erosion of legitimate authority to make collective decision. So if Libya is number 20th on this document or this ranking of fragile state, and they have two parliaments running, and that does not, they have two states here, one in the east of Libya, that's the area, and the one in the capital, I've become the capital properly, I've been there. So I'm not talking from a person that is naive. I've been to that place. So if Libya, that has two parliaments in the same country, all giving different rules, is not declared as, is not even ranked as higher than or as a fragile state than us, then whoever put together this analysis have done us injustice. And I think it is time for the Nigerian government to come up and start. You see, this is what I'm saying about taking control of the narrative. Because if Nigerian government, for example, push out their own narrative, there is a document, I'm not talking of the president opening a document in Asu Rock and saying 60 years, this arrangement, yes. That kind of document should be free. And then they put online. The Bible says, make it in a place like that. If we were to read, how can we defend what this government is doing? Every Nigerian should be able to stand with their head high to say that Nigeria is not a failed state or a fragile state. With that country, Nigeria is not. And that I will say, I'm number one to criticize Nigeria. I'm number one to criticize our armed forces when they are not getting it right. I'm number one to salute them for the work they are doing, because they are making their ultimate sacrifice. Every day they are going out there, yes, but like Oliver Twist, I will ask for more, because it is my right as a Nigerian citizen, a British Nigerian citizen, to ask for more. My parents are Nigerians, I'm Nigerian, so I have a right to ask for more. And they will not be angry if I ask for more, because if it's good for all of us. If it's bad, some of us will travel and will run out. So, and that is the situation. We don't want that. We want a situation. Nigeria is a country where people are flying in and flying out. Do you know that 7,000 millionaires are made all over the world? And many Nigerians are among them. In Nigeria, people are making millions. I have a friend that opened an hotel just a few days ago, and you are saying that Nigeria is a failed state. Will you open a hotel in a failed state? Somalia, they are bombing a hotel. Have an hotel there, they will bomb it to the ground. Bomb it to the ground. And yet, you are comparing us with Somalia. No disrespect to Somalia, but for God's sake, please, do not compare us with countries like, even Egypt. Do not compare us with Egypt. We are more better than Egypt. We're the first economy in Africa, and yet you are putting us as a fragile state. No, just reason, please, Nigerians, reason. Does it make sense? An economy like ours, Zanzibar Forest alone is 3 times the size of Belgium, and you are saying that that's a failed state, that Nigeria is a failed state, when we have a place as big as Lagos alone is as big as other nations, and Lagos is working. People in Lagos can tell you that Lagos is working. There will be crisis here and there. NSAS is small compared to the London riots that happened, where people went into shops and that a country is a failed state. Let's be realistic. If you like this page, please like it. Let people know that Temitope is talking live on Facebook about Nigeria and asking the question, is Nigeria a failed state? And I'm saying no, Nigeria is not a failed state. I'm actually on the second characteristics. I said there are 4 characteristics of a fragile state. Second one is where there is an erosion of legitimate authority to make collective decisions. If I know Nigeria that I know, we have 100 plus senators who are sitting and making decisions and coming up with laws. We have 360 members of the House of Representatives. We have members of Assembly in all the 36 states who are making decisions on a daily basis. In fact, a decision that a lady who was involved in early marriage should be allowed to vote was discussed in the House. And Nigeria has started debating and don't vote it. If I just say, if they don't want something, if I just say the president will lay the budget in front of the people. No. Nigeria is not a failed state. Please, take your failed state to America, where the Black Lives Matter more or less went through the heart of America. With people rioting on a daily basis for many months until the election came in and they decided to stay. Compare Nigeria and America, where America, the president is saying he doesn't want to stand down. Donald Trump. And all people are begging him and saying, please go. He said, no, I'm not going. Please go, I'm not going. Please go, I'm not going. That way you don't tag them as a state at the verge of collapse. It is all that you are highlighting as a country at the verge of down. No. Nigeria, we have members of the Assembly going there. We have members of the Senate. We have police officers going out to do their work, picking up criminals. We have our border that was closed or recent, which we opened. You can't, if we have lost control of the territory, how can you open your border? Newspaper man, journalist, editorial team. How can we open border if we are not in charge? How can the FEG, the Federal Executive Team, meet and have discussion and say, let's open border? How can they allocate money to the third to Ibadan Ibadan Lagos Expressway. How can they build train? How can Lagos Ibadan train come to pass if it's a failed state or a state at the edge of be failing? If it is this case, that money will have been diverted to weapon for us to be fighting whoever is the invisible enemy that you have created for us that makes us a failed state. So Nigeria is not a failed state. If you are watching this broadcast, this live Facebook chat, please like it, share with others, let other people know that this is happening. I'm live and direct here, telling you that Nigeria is not a fragile state, and I hope that as you watch me, you're sharing this live discussion. The third characteristics of a fragile state or a failed state is a state that has inability to provide public service. Now, if my record is right, as of the last time I checked, which was few hours ago, Nigeria still has a stable civil service, and our civil service is working. Not only is our civil service working, people that contravene the rules of the civil service are in court. Is it a failed state that will be able to manage going to extradite a person from Niger, a member of a former member, a public sector officer that was involved in corruption and disappeared, jumped bail, and we went to bring him back? Will a fragile state be able to do that? No. So when you come up with all these parameters, please, let's be realistic. When you are looking at it, let's be realistic. You must be able to use the hamburger principle. When I talk about the hamburger principle, I'm talking about a situation where, you highlight what is wrong, you identify the good things, and then you highlight the area of improvement. But not that you will come and start saying that everything is doom and gloom. No, that is not the case in Nigeria. Nigeria is and will never be a failed state, and is not even a state at the fringes of failure, because a failed state is a state where the political and economic system has become so weak that government is no longer in control. Now, even the United Nations highlighted earlier this year, not last year, not 2 years ago, highlighted this year that the ease of doing business is going up, is improving, because the vice president has been put in place to deal with it. And yet you are calling us a fragile state. No, we're not. No, we are not. We're talking of a system where our president is still liaising with other presidents around the world. If the president cannot in Libya now, when the committee of the nations are coming together, they have to deal with who to represent the state who, because they have two governments in Libya. They have two governments in Libya. And yet, you are not saying that, you are even saying Libya is better than us. No, I disagree with you. I have to disagree. So, inability to provide a public service. We are providing public service in Nigeria. More than 1 million Nigerians have been helped out of poverty. Yes, we have challenges in Nigeria in terms of statistics, in terms of the number of people that are in extreme poverty, and the government is working on it. Our refinery, they are working on the refinery. They are working on improving agriculture. Government is investing a lot, and you have to understand that when a system has faults in one or two areas, it takes time for government structure to shift and move. But yet it is moving. It's not sluggish. It's not like also these countries that imagine comparing telling us that Uganda is not transformed. Nigeria will break into pieces Uganda's resources, with all due respect to Ugandans, because I have friends there. But they can't, even them, if you call their president now and say, Mr. President, is that the Uganda president? Say, yes, Your Excellency. We've just been told that you are even better than Nigeria. You will say, no, Nigeria is our big brother. We can't be better than Nigeria. If you call Kenya today, you say, Kenya, They say you are better than Nigeria. They will say, no. Nigeria is still our big brother. There's a difference between the nose and the eyes. Like we all have our level. Please, let's respect each other. When you are talking about Nigeria, Nigeria is a great nation with great people. Any assertion or inference or suggestion that Nigeria is a failed state, a fragile state, or a state at the edge of failure is verbose. It's verbose. It's verbose. Nigeria is a great nation with some challenges, like any other challenge, any other nation in the world, but we are working on it. We are working at it. So we are not a failed state nation. The fourth and the last characteristics of a failed state is a state that does not have the ability to interact in the full capacity, as a member of the international body. As we speak, many Nigerian ambassadors are in different countries representing us. We have one in the United Kingdom, we have in Belgium, we have in Belgium, we have in Netherlands, we have in United States of America. Another one just died recently. We'll be sending one there. We have an embassy there. We have an embassy in South Africa. We have an embassy in Ghana. How can we be a failed state? How can you even suggest that we are in the fringes of failure, where we are a capable state that is operating, and millions are going? Listen, if you think I'm lying, go to your state, go to whichever country you are today, America, and go to the airport and see the number of white people that are boarding the plane to come to Nigeria. If it's a failed state, we don't go there to be making money. No. Chinese is going there and making money. We have trains moving from Abuja to Kaduna. And you say we're a failed state? No, we're not. And if you are saying that you are using a fragile state index, I think it is a bit faulty. And I think this is the time where Nigeria needs to create its own index, or even support universities like University of Lagos, University of Abuja. See, this is why I get angry with all these universities that are becoming more like, and all these plastic chancellors or vice chancellors, because they are supposed to be the heart of research. You know, all this war college, all these Daji and all these places we have, you know, they're supposed to be producing reports. All these lecturers are sitting there. Give them a work to do. Let them work with the department, you know, the Department of Finance or whatever, and look at our statistics and say this is how we're faring. This is what we have done. When we compare with other West African states, this is how we're. But if you don't build your drug, other people will build up for you to. This is where we are at the moment. So is Nigeria a failed state? Hell no. Nigeria is not a failed state. And I'm going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 indicators that we could use to assess whether Nigeria is a failed state or not. I'm going to do that because this is our last broadcast for the year, and I felt that discussing this matter would be the best thing that we should be discussing. If you're watching me right now, I want you to like this and start sharing it. You know, share the link, you know, and add other people to it, like it, love it, you know, just let people know that I'm discussing this very, very important topic. Is Nigeria a failed state? And I'm saying I put my hands up, and one of those that criticize Nigeria, and one of those that say that Nigeria is not doing right, I want them to go straight on Twitter and more or less comment about the need for our military to do more, the need for our military to operate in the 21st century. But is Nigeria a failed state? I'll say hell no. Nigeria is not a failed state. It can never be a failed state. Why? Because I'm going to talk about indicators. I've talked about characteristics of a fragile state or a failed state. Now I'm going to look at indicators, things that you look at to assess whether Nigeria is a failed state compared to other countries. One of the indicators is security apparatus. As we speak, we do not have 10 army in the country. As we speak, we do not have 3 Navy organizations claiming to be Navy of Nigeria, real Nigeria, fake Nigeria. No, it doesn't exist. We do not have any police formation apart from the Nigerian police force. So how could Nigeria be a failed state? Please answer it too. Because you are the ones that have done the editorial and said that Nigeria is a failed state. And I'm telling you now that one of the parameters is looking at the security apparatus, and we have them, they are working. I criticize them, yes, but they are working. They are killing. They are killing machine. A killing machine. If my son comes home and has a 60% in an assignment, I'll say, good, you've done well. But no, I'm not happy with you. You've disappointed me. You should be the son of Temitope Olodo, and you should be scoring 90. 90. If you want to get a gift from me. That doesn't mean that I will say that my son is a failure. My son is at the edge of failure because he has 60%. Because Nigeria is delivering when it comes to the war against terrorism. Technically defeated Boko Haram. Technically. That word. Not defeated fully, but defeated it. Point to one country that fully defeated Boko Haram, any terrorist group. I'll tell you that they've managed to minimize it, and they put in place appropriate measures to deal with it. But Nigeria is not a failed state. So one of the other issues that you look at is the economic decline across the world. Coronavirus has affected all economy. So what I'm saying, coronavirus have affected all economy across the world, and Nigeria is not an exception. But does that make Nigeria a failed state? Hell no. Nigeria is not a failed state. In fact, the United Nations came out to say that Nigeria, the ease of doing business in Nigeria is even better. Things have been automated. You can now even approach, the CAC. They just came out with the news on how to be able to register your company and things like that. Automated it. Will a failed state be doing that? No. So Nigeria is not a failed state. When you look at it from that economic perspective, Nigeria is not a failed state. Now, one of the issues that are looked at is human flight and brain drain. As I speak to you 2, 3, 4 years ago, Poland, Romania, and all those countries, there are people who are flying like drones into Nigeria, into the United Kingdom. But I didn't see them at the top of the list of a fragile state. So it is good for one country, but not good for another. As we speak, many British people are leaving the United Kingdom to start living in Europe and to go to Australia and to go to New Zealand to live. Does that make Britain a fragile country? No. In fact, our emission as a result of our people going out to gather more experience, to study abroad, our emission is even more than the money obtained from petroleum. We are getting in excess of 17 billion. In excess of $17 billion coming into Nigeria in remittance, which is going into supporting family, supporting businesses, and all varieties of areas. I was privileged to be invited by the Nigerian investment to speak about investment security and how to go about that. And our Nigerian NINCOM, is Nigeria's Diaspora Commission, is under the leadership of our able Honorable Abike Dabiri, working with people who are on a daily basis bringing in materials into Nigeria, wanting to add value, people helping with, eye clinics, people adding value in different areas, building children home, building schools, adding value, building apps, and then you say that that same country is a failed country. No, it's not. Nigeria is not a failed state. We have lots of good things that is happening. I just told you about a friend of mine that just built a big hotel in the state of Osun. I'm celebrating with him. I'm appreciating him for the good work he's doing. Can you build an hotel in a failed or a fragile country where everything is collapsing? No. No. The public sector is working. Trains is working in Abuja. The buses are working in Lagos. The people are, as we speak, are working on the Third Mainland Bridge. How do you work on the Third Mainland Bridge if you're in a state of war? No. Nigeria is not in a state of war. So part of it, pocket of it, are in crisis. And yes, the government is doing what it needs to do to deal with that, just like they are doing in India, just like they're doing in Indonesia. And yet I do not see Indonesia in the first 20 of countries as fragile. I really don't even see, India there. So I believe Nigeria needs to start working more on ensuring that we do not allow people to place label on us as a nation, because those labels increase negative perceptions, and we need to work on that. So I'll be hoping that Honorable Abike will be working with us in the diaspora to ensure that maybe there is need to start funding research bodies, Nigerian research bodies, to come up with proper research about how things are working in Nigeria, and then pushing it out there in the public domain so that people could know. Because if you are not telling people that they are good, if you keep telling somebody that they are bad, after some time they will believe it. And I don't want us to start believing that lie that we are a fragile state. Nigeria is not and will not be a fragile state. Nigeria is a country with law and order. One of the indicators of knowing that is that your rules are working. If you are telling us that we are a fragile state, the United States should be on top of it. Because in America, they are killing each other with guns like no man business, more than we were killing ourselves in Nigeria. And police officers are putting guns on, putting their legs on the neck of their citizens who can't breathe. I can't breathe. And kill and dying. They're shooting people. And yet, they are not. America is not among the 20 countries that is a fragile state as a result of the indicator when it comes to rule of law. Yes, we have police officers that misbehaved in Nigeria, and we have indigenous also that misbehaved. That's why we have the court, and the court is going through that. Of recent, we have the Criminal Justice Act that was created, ensuring that what in the Nigerian judicial system is addressed. You can't say you are addressing the bottlenecks in the judicial system and improving things, and yet you say that the state is a fragile state. It's a state. We have a legal system that is working, where people are taking their case to court and winning on a daily basis. Even politicians are going to court to demand justice where they feel their justice have been denied. In a state where you are able to deny justice, to apply for justice and you are getting it, then it's not a fair state. Because one of the maxim of equity is he who comes to equity must come to equity with clean hands. And our people are going to equity with clean hands on a daily basis. Contract is working, people are breaching contract, and people are being penalized for breaching contracts. And I just talked about an individual who allowed in the court, because facing a law. Our right is working. Yes, people are breaching human rights, but mechanisms are in place. As we speak, more than 20 countries, more than 20 states in Nigeria have a judicial panel to look into police brutality. You can't do that in a failed state. Even America, with all the Black Lives Matters, have not created a judicial panel in all the 51 states to look into police brutality. They've not, but we did. Nigeria government, the government of His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari created or gave recommendations and suggested recommendations to or advised the states to create judicial panel, and they all are all working on creating judicial panel. We know the one in Lagos is working, the one in Kogi is working, the one in Kaduna is working, the one in Ogun State is working, the one in Imo State is working, and yet you say we're a failed state? No, we're not. We can't be a failed state. It's impossible for us to be a failed state. Not based on what I have highlighted. So if I can recap, because we have 15 minutes to go. Please, if you're watching this, like this page, share with others, let them know that I'm live and direct on Facebook as usual. Temitope Olodo, Security Conversation, talking about, is Nigeria a failed state? And I'm saying no, Nigeria is not a failed state. Nigeria cannot be a failed state because we are doing what we need to do. We are engaging with countries around the world. Our legislators are working, our judiciary is working, our executive branch are arresting people, the FCC is still arresting people, ICPC is still taking people to court for not declaring their assets. The petroleum companies are working, our agriculture is working, food palliatives are being given out, to help with the millions of people that are deemed as vulnerable. So it's not possible for you to then say that Nigeria fits into the definition of a state whose political and economic system has become so weak that the system is no longer, the government is no longer in control. When you talk about weak, is Nigeria weak? No, Nigeria is not weak, and let none of our members, our neighbors try us and say we're going to try and invade Nigeria. That's when they will know that these people they are fire. They are fire. We are very, very good. Our political system is strong and healthy. There are some hiccups here and there, but yet we are working on it. Our economic system is improving, and United Nations has confirmed that. When you look at the 4 characteristics as highlighted earlier, one of it being loss of control of territory, erosion of legitimate authority to make collective decisions, inability to provide public services, inability to interact as a state as a full member of an international community. None of those 4 things apply to us, even at the widest ranges. No. We have not lost control of any territory, apart from the one we consider in line with international best practices based on United Nations decisions. Outside that, Nigeria still control of all these areas. It's only the ungoverned space like the bushes where Boko Haram is operating, where human beings are not living, where they roam free. And that's why our Navy, our Air Force is in control of our airspace. There is no other country controlling our airspace. Libya's airspace is controlled. Syria's airspace is controlled. Syria's airspace is controlled by Russia in one hand, America in one hand, European Union, NATO. We don't have any of those ones roaming around in our country. You understand? None. So it's impossible for you to say that we have lost control of our country. And it will be impossible for you to say that we don't have, with all legitimate authority have been eroded and there is no collective decision. The Executive Council is meeting on a monthly basis and making decisions. So it's impossible. Inability to provide public service, inability to provide public service. When you can those parameters, we are meeting those parameters, we are meeting them as a country. Inability to interact with other states as a full member. Nigeria have members, even in Nigeria. Professor Tijani is a representative at the United Nations. He was once my lecturer, my head of department in the Usmanu Danfodio University. He was my lecturer. He used to bully me then. Just joking. Very good lecturer, very, very good. He was my head of department. And I met him in the UK when he was acting Director General of the intellectual, the school in the advanced studies school in Jos, Korea, I think. Lovely man. He's there. If we're a failed state, we will not have any of that. We have members. Even our Ngozi is standing to be the Director General of the World Bank, and we're beating every country apart from South Korea, that the Americans are standing as a blocking stone, an hindrance from us to getting it. Just one country. We have Nigerians that have been selected by the new incoming government in America as the Secretary of State there. And you are saying that Nigeria is a failed state. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm telling you now, no, we are not. So, please, if you are watching this video, share it. And when you watch it, share with others, because, they said faith cometh by hearing, and hearing of the word. Hearing of the word. We must hear this word continuously. We are not a failed state. We can't be a failed state, because when you look at all the characteristics I've highlighted, we are not even anywhere close. We are not a failed state. None of our territories outside our control. There is no erosion of legitimate authority, inability to public control to provide public service. We are providing public service. Government is giving money to small-scale businesses to improve themselves, to marketplaces. Government is working on building Ibadan, Lagos Express Road. Government is working on the bridge, Niger, the second Niger bridge. How can a government that is working on those areas and different projects now be said to be a failed state? China will not lend us money if we're a failed state. United Nations will not work with us if we're a failed state. United Kingdom will not work with us if we're a failed state. So, and when you look at all the other indicators I've highlighted before, there's no reason why Nigeria should be number 14 on the fragile state index. It should not be number 14. And I think that this kind of ranking more or less just is an abuse. It's an abuse, because anybody that writes editorial like this is not doing us any favor. Let's go into it in the last 8 minutes. You want to talk about security? It's perception issue. The 300 plus boys, Kankara boys, were returned back. They were gotten back. The 84 that were adopted. We're talking of a country, a big country, the third populous black nation in the world. Policemen, army can be everywhere. There will be issues here. And that's why it's left for you, for foreign countries, for foreign NGOs. You do not have the right telling us that our country is a failed state. I have the legitimate right to tell my president I want more, like Oliver Twist. But that doesn't mean I will say that my country is a failed state. No, it's not. Yemen might be a failed state. Somalia might be a failed state. Congo, DR might be a failed state. Chad will not even count themselves as a failed state. And yet, you are counting us as a failed state. So we're not going to accept that. We're not going to accept that. All the security challenges, as we speak, Nigeria has a counter-terrorism strategy. And I know, as we have spoken to the president and we have sent messages to different forums, we know that the implementation strategy will be in place. The president has already made it clear that he's working with the service chief, and they're going to be putting in the different parameters to ensure that things are improved. The president has admitted that there are areas that need some improvement. Does that mean that Nigeria fails? No. Does that mean that we're admitting defeat? No. We're not admitting defeat. It is not over until it's over. Yeah, that's the phrase of my pastor, Pastor Matthew Shimolo. It is not over until it's over. And Nigeria is not a failed state. We're talking of of countries where millionaires are made on a daily basis, where people during this pandemic made millions, and you say it's a failed state. No, Nigeria is not a failed state. And when you look at those parameters, like I highlighted earlier, when you look at the security apparatus, when you look at the economic, how our economic is improving, yes, we might be in recession, but which country is not in recession? UK is in recession. America is in recession. It's only a country like China, and we don't know what China had done. China brought us COVID, and then China got rid of COVID, and then they are the ones selling things to us. But let's leave that to Donald Trump to say China. That's Donald Trump. Let's let Donald Trump do that. I'm not going to join him in that madness. So, economic flight, human flight, people are not living because the Nigerians are people that are explorers, are people that like to move, and wherever they go to, they excel. Now, as I spoke to you earlier, even the British people are leaving the UK. They are leaving the UK in drones to Australia. That doesn't mean that Britain is a failed, or the United Kingdom is a failed state. No, it's not. So when you saw the picture of people standing at the train station because the London and the Southeast were moved to Tier 4, does that make the UK a failed state? No. So why are you then calling Nigeria a failed state? Where people are making millions, waking up every morning and making millions, schools are running, hospitals are running, people are on the road. No, please don't say that. Brain drain has positive and negativity. The positive part of it for us is that over $17 billion are made yearly in terms of remittance coming in to inject into Nigeria economy. I was in Israel, where I was invited to speak in the diaspora conference, the Israeli diaspora conference, and I was shown projects that the Israeli diasporas were doing, on a daily basis. Palestinians are shooting into Israel, trying to infiltrate the state, but yet I did not see Israel on the list on number 1 to 20. That's a state where you have to go to bed with your eyes closed, where you have to keep your gun beside you, where you are trained, to use weapons, where they are surrounded by enemies left, right, and center. Where some states refuse to acknowledge them, and yet those countries like Israel is not called a fringe state or a state at a failed state. Have you forgotten that just last year it was impossible for Israel to create a government? They had to go into election almost 2 or 3 times, and yet they were not called a failed state during that period by this group, Fund for Peace, that was created in 1957. They did not call Israel a failed state. They did not say Israel is at the fringes, but here they could put Nigeria at number 14 continuously for 5 years. That's the reason why we need to create our own data. That's why I'll be appealing to Honorable Abike, appealing to the federal government. Bring in researchers, call universities, give them money. It's not cost that much. Let them create 86, And for those people that say we are failed state, look at government. Even if the government not to actually produce document that is out there in the public domain, on a daily basis, the journalists are going out and bringing out stories, and making it clear, So I'll say Nigeria is not a failed state. I'll say that Nigeria is a great nation of great people, and I'll commend to you as we prepare for the festive season and as we prepare for the new year 2021. Nigeria will be greater again in the next year. Many Nigerians will enjoy the dividends of democracy, and I'm confident that the president will work with members of the National Assemblies, will work with members of the Senate, will work with the 36 governors, and the judiciary to make Nigeria a comfortable place for many Nigerians. So thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to see you next. If you're watching this video, please share this video to as many people as you can, because it's important to let people know that Nigeria is not a failed state, and that's the reason why I'm making this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for your time. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigerians, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless.